What is up, guys? Lord Nick here, bringing you another One Piece related video. This video, guys, we are going over a slightly different tweak to the lists of the video that may have been posted probably the day before this video goes up. Knowing me, I will have recorded it multiple times throughout the weekend, run out of time to get it up, and probably remake the video like 7 or 8 times and then post it on Sunday. So I'm assuming I'm going to get this up on Monday because that's the original plan, and this video is pretty much done. That being said, based off of the lists that the me making this video knows, this list is different than the lists that I showed in that video. But let's kind of go over it here. So the lists in that video really focused on very similar principles to this list in terms of the Kuzan lists. This is more or less based off of what would be my competitive idea for the lists. I made some more tweaks to it, and I made some adjustments and testing to it. Like I said in that video, I don't have, or I hopefully will say it in that video. We'll see. But I don't have as much time to test. Part of it is because I need to have brain off a little bit. My 2 jobs, school is just draining me a lot recently. I am feeling very exhausted, and playing One Piece is kind of becoming more or less a little bit of a chore because I feel like I have an obligation to make sure that you guys get decent Rebecca content, preferably great Rebecca content, but I don't consider myself that great at it. And some actual like understanding of it, because I feel like there's a decent number of people that are coming to this list and they're asking for assistance, and I want to be able to provide that assistance and that ability of understanding for them. So when we look at this list, one of the first things that might draw your eye to it is the fact that there is a crap ton of 2-ofs in this list, and I think that 2-ofs is not necessarily bad when majority of those 2-ofs can be found again in some way or another. Right, Mon Cherie is a 2-of is only because she is a tech card. Through and through, there's nothing else about her other than she is a tech card. She offers nothing but being a tech card. The rest of them offer tech card-like abilities, but are more or less more important to the strategy, and so many of them need to be within a range that we can get them back. Hajrudins, Luffy's, Cavendish's, and Brooks are all within that capability of coming back due to Rebecca's, and then some of them because of Mon Cherie. So, and because of Mon Cherie, we can actually get the Rebecca's back, which allow us to get all those cards back. So what we then have is about 5. We have the Gyatz, which is just a searchable 2K, so it's fine of him being a 2-of. It's whatever ways of finding him from the deck, so that's fine. As for the Kuzans, the Aramakis, the Red Rocks, and the Gravity Blades, those are cards that if they get milled, it's going to suck that they get milled. But that being said, they only make up 9 cards in the deck that if they're milled, it's just no way of getting them back. So with each of them being 2s or 3-ofs, I don't think that's going to hurt us that badly. It can hurt the consistency a bit, but we need to see about 1 Kuzan a game, and it is lovely to see at least one of the splashed blue cards in there. So the premise of this follows the same logic of any of my Kuzan decks. It is a long game building deck, but some of the big things that I made tweaks of. Why did I drop Hina's? Some people might be asking, is it for consistency's sake or anything like that? No, Hina being milled isn't that big of a problem, but having the ability to free up 2 more slots for more counter, I think is viable and useful. So adding in the 2 Hajrudins is something good for that. As for the Leos, because we're adding in the Cavendishes, I don't really see us needing the Leos as much. And I was really teching the Leos and Hound Blazes mainly for the Zuro matchup just because of locals. With us moving closer to a more mid-rangey kind of look in terms of like what the meta is going to have is a lot of mid-range pseudo aggros and then some heavy controls. I felt like we needed better threats and that we needed better reoccurring removal, so having something like a Cavendish is both of those things. He is a threat and he offers reoccurring removal, but we don't have to sacrifice the ability to mill out our deck. So with the Cavendish, we actually have a recyclable way of doing that, similar to Orlumbus, and thus, because of that, we can consistently, repeatedly get stuff out of our deck, which allows us to then find those cards that are harder to find easier because we mill out our deck sooner. We get the Luffy, start putting cards back, or Moncherie, start putting cards back. We just got to be cautious with when we're milling those out and what cards we're putting back. And we need to play for the Luffys. So the only other thing that I might tweak in this list later is upping the Luffys to 3 and maybe cutting the Moncherie down by 1. That would put us to 21 bricks, as people put it. No counters. We'd have 21 of those in the deck at that point, which I think is a fair number, as most Rebecca lists at this point are kind of teetering towards the black side, which is closer to a higher count of no counters in the deck. With many of them being surgible, there's also an argument that we go down to 3 Kiroses because we have the likes of Cavendish and Brook both being recurable and reusable, that maybe we don't need as many of the Kiroses. But my argument is that we still want the 4 just because Orlumbus being our main removal piece, even though we have other cards in the deck that we can use to KO or for the Orlumbus ability. Kyros is obviously the best option. But because we're adding the Cavendishes back in and we're focusing so heavily on board control, I felt like going up to a 3rd Colosseum was kind of a necessity. I know I talked in the past that I didn't really see a huge difference between the two, and the biggest reason is I didn't see a huge difference because before the stages weren't like as necessity, right? Like they were nice, right? They were another way of keeping our Kyros alive, made him harder to kill. They gave us more consistency, but it didn't feel like having 3 of them really found them that much more. But because we're going to be milling through the deck as much, they're just arguably we don't need them as much, but it's more important to have it. So having one more technically adds a little more consistency to give us a chance of having it on curve so that when we play Cavendish, we can actually do it on curve. So let's jump into a game. I actually recorded, this is the 3rd time I'm recording this video, and the biggest reason is I named my Rebecca decks 3.0, 4.0, and such, and I accidentally played through an entire other video of like 45 minutes where I had 2 matchups before I realized I was playing the wrong deck. So let's find us Reiju. I already played Toki earlier today, so he probably won't want to play me. Or Philip Man. I think I might have played this guy earlier too, because I've been trying to find Reiju matchups for us. So this guy might not be wanting to play this because he might be like, oh, this is worthless. But this is one of the matchups that a lot of folks are like, oh, how do I play this matchup? How do I do this? This is a difficult matchup no matter what. You kind of need to draw well and need to hope that she kind of pseudo bricks early. If Reiju finds her stage and we don't find ours, we're in a very nasty predicament. This is actually not a bad hand to keep because it gets us to our late game. But God, it got worse. It got so much worse. It got so much worse. We're being punished for this. All right. Well, that first hand was keepable and is significantly better than this. And then this mill is really, really bad for us. This is spelling disaster right off the bat, but early on what we're going to end up doing is playing this Bardo. If he gets bounced back well, he doesn't get bounced. If he gets KO'd, I guess he gets KO'd if we play him. Oh, so he's running this variant. Interesting. So he's back on using the event. Oh god, he already has the Ichiji, but he has nothing on board, so we'll take it. Activate. Cavendish would be very nice right now, but that puts so many yeah, we're doing it. We don't have anything to play, so we pass, which is rough. This can happen, I guess. You can't, you can flood into some of your big guards. Upside is we have a Sabo, so we can kind of get our way out of this a little bit. We can get rid of a Kuzan, something else that we draw that's kind of bricky, maybe. All right, you're coming in. We're gonna give you a 2K, just because we need to try to keep our life a little higher right now. We can get you back with Rebecca, so we have play at least. You're just hard playing the Reiju. You have 5 cards, so why didn't you draw? But if you're equal to or less than Dawn, you're less than Dawn. Why didn't you draw? Oh no, wait, I was at 3. You're at 4. Never mind. Haha, he's just playing that for tempo, I guess. We don't really have anything to play here, so we're just gonna develop our Cavendish actually, because we're not really afraid of this Reiju here right now. So we're going to pass it back to him. we're going to just develop the Cavendish because this gives us a potential out on our next turn, just because of where we are currently. Our only 2K is a cost reducer, so we're probably not using him as such. So we are going to focus on trying to remove some characters, so hopefully he does play something kind of easy to kill. Okay, well, he's found a second big Ichiji. He didn't play one last turn, which tells me he might not have a baby yet. We might be getting lucky in that regard that he's just kind of bricking there. All right, no block. We're going to eat that one. That is a 2K. That is a thing that we can use to get out of a sticky situation here. All right, he's going for 7. We have too many cards in hand, so we are going to get rid of some of these. Because there's also not something that I really am afraid of him playing. So with this, we're going to set up Rebecca. We're going to grab back a Bardo. We're going to deploy this. We're going to activate to minus here. We're going to put 1 on here. Swing here. Use card action. KO this. Because I don't want to be giving him cards at this moment. Luffy would be kind of nice, I guess, but we need more KO options. Nah, not really. We have Kiros, we have Kuzans coming soon. So Luffy's probably the best option here, and we pass. So we're not focusing on his life here. We could, but he's kind of in a spot that he's already showcasing. He doesn't have the babies. He's finding all the big end, so he's struggling in a similar way fashion to us. He's finding the giant sizes of the top end of his deck, but he's not finding the combo pieces of his deck. Oh, he finally found a combo piece, so now he gets to use a baby Ichiji, play an Ichiji. He could kill this if he wants. Oh, he's going for Judge. Okay, so was he just setting up for a Judge play? He's got 1 of each baby. He's filtering out his hand so that he gets Reiju triggers, I guess. Interesting choice. We are in a bad spot now. This is not an ideal spot to be in. We need to keep our Cavendish alive here. So we have a 2K, so we're probably going to block with the Rebecca from the Ichiji play. And then we're going to 2K out of the swing onto our Cavendish. And that's if this Ichiji swings at Cavendish. If this Ichiji just goes face, we take it, because we're at enough life that we're okay with this. No block, give you a 2K. And we block, because we need this guy alive. So, there's a lot to be questioned here of what we do. We have 9. We don't have stage still, which is crap. Like, this is why adding a 3rd stage has always been something that I'm, like, iffy on doing. Because this can just happen, even with 3 stages. So, like, we need to get an Aramaki out. And then I think we just need to swing 7 in this Reiju. Use card ability. Yep, no trigger. We just kind of want to filter out some cards into our trash here. It's a lot of 2Ks in trash. That's very unfortunate. I mean, he needs to keep this Reiju alive to keep board pressure on. I think what he's going to end up doing this next turn is he's going to try to kill this Cavendish off. And if he does that, like, Cav has kind of done his job. So he needs a 2K, 1K to keep this Reiju alive. Alright, big one, that's fine. He's going to get that back, so he's okay with that. And he loses a Black Maria, which would get him massively ahead in this game. So not finding stage makes this matchup pretty impossible here. Mulliganing the hand that I mulliganed, I don't think is the wrong choice, just because that hand was kind of, it was kind of late game. And our late game is very strong and has the potential to beat the crap out of this deck. But we also have the potential of just hard bricking into this deck. So right now, he's only seen 1 baby Ichiji. He needs another one. He can easily find it because he has the stage. Getting rid of another Reiju. Not necessarily ideal for us, but it's it's gonna happen. If he just goes face this turn, we can claw back this pretty well overall, I think. Oh, no cards. Okay, so he missed the search, so he's just deploying a baby. There's a baby EGG that he has. Alright, cool. So he's getting another EGG, assuming that means that he's just going... So how is he swinging this? Is he swinging 5, then 5? Because I don't want this to die. Yeah, we just have to give that. That sucks. We're going to eat some damage this turn, but maybe we get a good trigger off of this, and we can get rid of one of these characters. If he survived, we're in a good spot, but we're just not in a spot that's going well for us. No block. Resolve. You get rid of a 4. Yeah, we use that. Get rid of you. It's one less character I have to worry about trying to deal with, so that's fine by me. No counter coming out of life either. We're just hitting all of our bricks. This is great. Yeah, we're gonna lose this one. So I guess you could do this. This can happen. It's not common this happens to me. Generally when I'm playing Rebecca lists, especially ones that have 21 or under bricks, I don't run into this many bricks this often. Pitching the early Sabo was probably the wrong play just because of how many bricks we had in hand. I could have afforded to use it to try to get some cards into our hand that give us counter, but I was trying to prevent this deck from getting too much board pressure, and because of how slow his board pressure was, I wanted to have something that could answer what he did have. I don't think that was necessarily a bad play, but it obviously became the wrong play, is the fact that he found the things that he needed because he has the searchability of just freely finding them with this card, which is what I think makes this deck so busted, right? Like, if this said discard a card and pay 1, I think this is a much more balanced stage. I don't think paying 1 would also make this stage so bad it's unplayable. I think it would make it more fair. I think that the deck is very unfair with how it plays. All right, that gave us 2K. Do we have an out? Yeah, I drew nothing but bricks, and Reiju gets out of it. So, I mean, that is something that can happen, I guess, is you just draw nothing but bricks, and you don't draw stage. Like, you don't draw the one brick that you need to see early, right? You just draw nothing but the bad brick. Come on, can we get one of the matchups that I kind of want to showcase here? Sure. We'll showcase what I think is still one of our favorable matchups. We'll choose to go second. We have answers here. This is fine. This is an okay hand. This is a hand that you're okay with keeping. I'd still prefer to see searchers early or stage early. But this is some 2Ks. This is a card that allows us to utilize this to get rid of something out of his early plays potentially. Ultimately, this matchup is better for us just because this deck is trying to go later. It is not trying to just rush us down. So, better matchup overall. We're going to search. We're going to take a stage. We're going to deploy a stage. We're going to pass. We could have taken the Hajrudin because that is just a really good on-curve card for us here. But we have Rebecca this next turn, so we're just going to play her Rebecca. He's probably dropping a Searcher or something this turn, I imagine. I imagine he's dropping a Searcher this turn. Nope, he's just going face. All right. Well, we don't need these. We just want to stay up on life. Make this harder on him. Grab you, deploy you, choose no target, and turn. We now have an attacker to deal with his board state. We don't mind this coming out without a target because we're just going for the Hashiruden play this next turn. Yep, cool. You get a card. Or are you going to put one back? Yep. So he knows Baby Sabo. Cool, that's fine. It's whatever. So Sabo, he's going to swing face. I'm going to take that because I don't really care. Him deploying a Sabo this early just sets it up so that if we find an Aramaki to follow up this Hashiruden, we get rid of this super early, which is very nice for us. Be pitching that. No block. That's also very nice. We're not going to trigger that. We could get rid of this, but that doesn't do shit for us here. So we are going to just still deploy the Hashiruden. We don't need to swing at face, so we end. Like, he's only swinging one character a turn at us. That's fine. This deals with a Gecko Moria if he plays one, which he's not going to play on. One, he can't play this turn, but two, he's not going to play it on curve on his 9-Dawn, just because that's his big ticket into his combo. Alright, so you're going to take one. You're going to stack something on top of your life. So you got another baby that you're playing. Alright, you're getting a Luffy. Ooh, drew himself another... Oh, he drew a Baby Sabo. Okay, so you're doing this to do what? Remove my blocker? He's trying to bait my blocker out, so we're going to use it just so that this doesn't do anything. Alright, we're at 6 cards. We're at 8. We didn't hit the Aramaki on curve. We were going to play her. Obviously take him. Use by 4. Deploy, KO. Deploy. Activate. Put you back, put you back. Grab me that Rebecca. And turn. We now have enough of a board threat here that he has to be cautious of how he's going to do stuff. Okay, you're gonna Luffy what? What are you removing? Are you just playing him? You just hard playing this Luffy? I mean, I'll waste a 2k counter on it, that's fine. Force a second attack, that's fine. Okay, sure, hit me. Nope, no trigger. Cool. We could do some fun stuff this turn. We have Rebecca to get back this Brook. We have... Okay, so first, we just do this free attack here to clear this. Bottom you. For you. Don't get to activate Mon Cherie here. We do lose a Kyros attack here, potentially. Actually, if we attack one first, because he's now going to be afraid that we're removing it, so he's going to just use his blocker. Oh, he didn't. He's not afraid of that. Attack 5. Attack 7. You need a 2k and a 1k to get out of this, bud. You have no cards in hand, and you're going to start your combo this way. I'm okay with this. I'm perfectly okay with this. Alright, start your combo. Do your Gecko combo. Oh, you don't have it. You're just Saboing to get you a Sabo out. Okay. Means I don't need this Brook this turn. No, we blocked that. That's fine. That's fine. You have my Brook. Okay, bud. So we're gonna drop this. 7. 7. Just like that, matchup super easy. I mean, he didn't have a gecko, but like even at that, like he runs out of cards really fast when you're just forcing him to replay everything. Even if he starts trying to use the babies to get tempo on you, 1 or 2 blockers stops that. Oh god, that life is atrocious life. 1 or 2 blockers get you in the way there, and then at bottom decking 1 Sabo can really throw off his tempo. I mean, ultimately, I don't think that matchup's super hard, so I don't know if that's really that great of one. Here, let's get 1 more Reiju in here. So we're gonna, oh, maybe not. Come on, come on, come on. He's not there. Fine, we'll do a pudding. We got 1 of quite a few of them. I couldn't find a Lucci. Nobody's testing Lucci. So let's go second. It's kind of a risky hand. We'll keep it, though. We have a searcher. We're going second. So, ooh, we hit gravity. Right, we take you. We deploy you. We take... Do we need another 2K? I kind of like the cost reduction. Oof, 2 Kuzans in trash early is rough. But still manageable. We can still do this. We're going to have a Rolumbus on curve. He's a Beji and a Saji on top. We'll eat this one. Oh, looky there. That's a good hit. Okay. It's actually a huge hit for us here, because this next turn is just going to be probably develop you, utilize, get rid of whatever he plays here. Be a 2K for that. Alright, there's a 6. We might have to red rock that. Not really. He's isn't that big. Ooh, this is actually pretty good. Reduced by 1 puts him to 5. Reduced by 4 puts him to 1, which kills here. So we actually just do this. Deploy, no KO. Back 5. We know that's a Beji, so. Look at this. This guy has one of the best curves for this deck so far. Already some of the best curve. And I don't honestly care, because I'm still at 4 life. And then I'm going to take some damage, and I'm just going to have removal to deal with his characters. We also still have a 2K in hand. We have a stage. We can drop an Aramaki this next turn, which is probably what we're going to do. Because, I mean, he's starting to drop his 10-drop moms, which is annoying. Oh, he 9-dropped. What is he putting in my life? Brook? What you got? 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 Healing 1, what are you putting in my life? Orlumbus? Nope, Kyros. Okay. Are you swinging the 6? There you go. Honestly, stage, red rocking you, searching is probably pretty good here. Ooh, that's another 2K. We in turn. We don't need to swing with Orlumbus. We don't really need to overcommit to anything here. Our Orlumbus is still pretty good here. We now have stage, so we can Luffy into anything if we need to. And this next turn could be Aramaki if we see a Searcher Rebecca, right? Like, no block. That's a hell of a trigger that we don't have now. But we now have 2 gravity. We now see both of our gravity blades. So, and if push comes to shove and he drops like a 10 mom, we can just gravity blade it away. I mean, we lose an Orlumbus for that, but we get rid of this and that, so that's not bad. Ooh, okay. A little spice. Not terribly great for your current board position, but, you know, hey, it's a thing. deploy Luffy. Take you out. Let's take a Hajruden because we need that. We want to restand Luffy right now. I think we do. Just to prevent him from being KO'd real quick. Want you. Definitely you. You. This Luffy goes back. We can cycle Stage out of our hand, but that's just a card that we can use with him in a couple turns. Yeah, it's fine. We hold the Stage. It's just a dead card that we can utilize to have a 2K. What are you gonna do? 10 drop bomb? There it is. Ooh, that's pretty nice too. We're not really at threat of dying this turn. So yeah, we just developed this. We don't swing with the Luffy. Or do we? I mean, this is big board threat here. He has no way of really answering the Luffy. If he drops another mom, we just do this. Now we don't need the Hajruden. So he's just dropping a second mom here is what it looks like. Bottom those. Take another 2K. 7 at lead. $10 at lead. Restand. Doesn't matter what we put back at this point. Just try to keep Brook in there. 9. 2 2Ks and a 1K out of hand. Like, that's a solid play if he has it, but that's fine. We just got so many cards off of you. And I have plenty of counter in hand here. Because even if you go 10-10, I have exactly enough to get out of it. There's not a way he can really split this other than doing a 5 and me not countering it. Honestly, though, the best thing I could have done that turn would have been to swing the 10 and then swing the 7 here and then another 9 here if I need it. Because that saves me from losing the Luffy swing this next turn. But we're about to Aramaki, which he doesn't have an answer to. He's not going to drop anything that's, like, so oppressively bad for us either. Like, because he's, at best, he can 9-drop mom here. I mean, he could put Luffy into my life with a Katakuri if he's running it. Okay, you killed the Luffy. It's the wrong play. We don't want to give him a trigger that gets him a character on board, because right now, he got nothing. He can swing this into my life, and I still have a life, so I don't really care. He doesn't have a rusher, because his only rusher is 10-drop ace, right? So, like, there's no threat, really, of the ace coming in. Seeing as he's at 4 life. He has no way of doing that. Okay. What are you going to do? That gets a 6er under, so you can put Moncherie in my life if you want. You can heal yourself 1 if that's what you want. That's right. Can you do that? I mean, you can put Moncherie in my life. Okay. You want to give me the Kyros back? Hmm. We didn't have a Curious in life because we did put him, or in trash because we put him back to the bottom of the deck like a dumbass. Uh, take Brook here. I think we take Hajrud in here, actually. No deploy. We're at enough life. We can swing here. If he gets another attacker, it's not the end of the world. We have 2 blockers anyways. And then we pass. So we get the Hajrudin back, which means we can now kill basically anything. I mean, we could already kill basically anything. We block here. Don't really care. Okay. Search. Take the Rebecca because that's counter. Attack 10. In turn. Like, we're just chilling. We've dealt with 3 10-drop moms. He's running out of stuff that he can do. Oh, there's another 9 mom. You put Rebecca back into my life. I feel bad. Let's add Kyros back. Deploy the Kyros. KO you. We now have an insane board state and 2 life. Block here. What are you gonna do? 4th 10-drop mom. Okay. Well, she's dead on board, so that doesn't really bother me in the slightest right now. We'll take you. Let's do that wrong. All right. Attack 6. Attack 7. We have a lot more Dawn that we can play with. Like, we could Rebecca. I don't really need to waste any cards, though. Yeah, but this gets a blocker out of the way, because he's just going to activate this trigger. Like, it loses us a Rebecca. But do we care? Well, we have another Rebecca, so no, we don't. We don't care. We got a card out of his hand and life. For free, essentially. Oh, that's another pudding. He missed the draw. Cool. Down to 2 life. I have plenty of attacks. You can 9-drop mom again. What, put another Rebecca into my life? Swing, give me a Rebecca. I'll take it. Swing into Hajrudin and try to clear him. What are you doing? I'll give you a blocker. Okay. That's fucking crazy hit. I feel bad for this man now. I didn't need to put any Dawn because we just swing here, use card ability KO here. I don't know why I put Dawn. I just needed one Dawn so I could swing into the active. Oh well. Attack 6. Attack 8. Attack 10. So you get a body trigger. That'd be dope as shit. Take 2 in, we pass. Freest matchup, guys. Freest. There's just nothing about this matchup that's hard. Like, my contemplation that I've had to do this game has been ridiculously low. Ooh, you got an ace. What are you killing? Tell me you swing correctly. Because you need to take out this Hajruden to give you a shot. Doesn't, but I mean, it's your best shot because it's only 10. Yeah, I feel bad about this, buddy, but, like, you chose the wrong one. This was your best chance of removing something. Yeah, we just swing. Oh, my leader's rested because of this idiot. That's stupid of me. Or is it? Haha. Attack 8. Attack 10. Attack 10. Attack 15. There we go. Free matchup, guys. Literally just take it slow. Don't worry about the attacks. You know, tell him GG. I mean, he played it well. Like, you can't say my opponent played that matchup badly. It's just the way it goes. Rebecca is very suited to deal with Pudding. You know, yes, if you hard brick like I did in that Reiju game, then yeah, you're going to be in a massive, massive bad state. But that goes for any matchup. If you just hard brick like that in any matchup, you're just going to be in a negative board state. You're going to be really behind. It's going to be hard for you to get back into it. But when you're playing against these decks, guys, you just have to be cognizant of what cards you need to be worrying about in their deck. And then because of that, you need to know what cards you need to see in your deck to answer them. So, like in the Pudding matchup, Hajruden is super important because getting rid of him is difficult for them. Even using the Conqueror's, you know, Conquest of the Seas or whatever it's called, that their version of Gravity Blade doesn't necessarily get them out of the weeds. Because for them, they are so reliant on having to close the game through constant tempo. If I've already cleared their board and they're using that reactively to start clearing mine, we're okay with that because he's getting in maybe 1, maybe 2 attacks, and I know he doesn't have a lot of rush to close out stuff. So late game, all we have to do is start putting a blocker or 2 up a turn, and ultimately he can't do anything. So sticking to 2 to 3 life so that by the time you get into your 10 drops turns, even if they're 10 drop momming, then what you can end up doing is develop a Kuzan on a turn that's maybe you lose 2, maybe 3 life, but you don't die. And then after that, it's just, okay, blocker up time. I have an Aramaki already, hopefully. But if I have to do it out of curve, kind of like how I did there, then it's okay anyways. Like, you just drop it, you play it, and you go. So ultimately, that's how you play this list, guys. I think it gave you a good swath of, like, how you play into 3 pretty prevalent matchups. Hopefully you find this video informative. You enjoyed the video. I do apologize that this is going to be most likely different than the lists that I showcased on the last video. But if you're looking at it, those lists are still really solid. this was more or less just me wanting to experiment more with Cavendish, of which, to note, I enjoyed the Cavendish quite a bit. The Gyatz is hard maybe. He came up one of the matchups as a 2K, but other than that, he's just a searchable 2K basically. He can give you that for one Dawn, be able to swing into one of their characters, but with Cavendish and Luffy's in the list, I don't know how necessary that will be. Maybe some tweaks to this would be, like I said, adding a third Luffy, but with that, guys, I bid you a goodbye, and until next time, have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye, guys.